Kätlin Kaldmaa, who is Estonian. As far as I know, Kätlin lives in Estonia, but as a secretary of PEN International, is supposed to visit London, to visit other places. Is also very, very globalized figure. So maybe they would start with sharing their experience. I would ask Kätlin, first of all, if you don't mind. Please, Kätlin.
Thank you, Mykola. As you can imagine, then, yes, in the past months, there have been serious discussions on the board of PEN International regarding the happenings basically in the internet, because most of the cancel culture takes place in online. And we have had long, heated discussions regarding questions coming from many of the centers and individuals all around the world. The cancel culture is sort of part of the online harassment culture, which has become much more serious and severe now during the lockdown months. I have been discussing this with my daughter and many of my young relatives, because it seems to me that in a way we are sort of a less active part of that discussion, as let's say it's sort of, if we look at the J.K. Rowling case, then for us, canceling J.K. Rowling sort of reached this year. But when I talk to my daughter and her friends, it turns out that they have been canceling J.K. Rowling for years now, for many, many years. But we don't know about that because they don't talk this to us. And that has partly started with the growing knowledge of young people about, diversity, including all kinds of people in your activities. And they have found that, yes, that J.K. Rowling can say that Dumbledore is actually gay, but we can't see this in the books. And all the people who are not white, heterosexual, they are just like stereotypes of their kind. That there is one Black person, there is one Asian person, there is one Irish person. But we all remember that when Harry Potter was published, it was actually a big thing that one of the protagonists was a girl, was Hermione, and actually she is the smartest pupil in the novel. So it's sort of the historical view gets lost in the discussions of the contemporary issues. And that is one of the problems with the online cancel culture. And 2018, many of you may remember what happened with Junot Díaz, the Dominican American writer in US Boston, who was accused of verbal attacks, misogyny, multiple instances of sexual assault by several female authors. And for a few months, it was researched. Nothing really happened. He got back his place on the board of the Pulitzer Prize and is still teaching in MIT. And at the same time, J.K. Rowling, who has not, let's say, personally hurt anyone, still there are attacks on her directly, while the other person who has attacked or has done bad things to real people in the real world is somewhere safe and nothing hasn't happened to him. So it's sort of it's not very well balanced when it comes to the gender. Yeah, and when you talked about the public figures, that it's often connected to public figures, but I think for us maybe the public figures are more politicians, and it's not really possible. In Estonia, we right now also have a partly far-right government, which is trying to do horrible and bad things, not on the level of Poland, but they're trying their best. But it's not sort of possible to cancel the politician, because you cannot start ignoring what they're doing. You have to act. Today, actually, there was a case that to one of the government buildings, people took 100 cakes as one form of protest. Exactly, we have a cake protest. So it's a very long backstory. I'm not gonna talk about that. But this canceling has, as I said, it's an online issue, and whatever you have posted online will stay there. It's very easy to fake something. It's very simple to make fake photos and post them online. It's very, if you have ever done anything online, any Twitter, any blog post, it's out there, especially if it's in English. And people change. But what I wrote in 2010 may not be what I think in 2020. So people will go and find this thing from 2010 or 2005, and they will use this against somebody. And this is one of the things that's happening with the cancel culture. So it's becoming very personal. And to be honest, like making like fake photos, my daughter could do that when she was 10. So it's not a problem for this generation, and for them, public figures are YouTubers, for example, and even more now with the lockdown, young people do not feel connected to their parents. They do not feel connected to their families. They do not feel connected to their friends because they have so many conflicts, and they see a YouTuber who is somebody who is. They don't know that there is actually a team behind this person. He tells them stories or performances, and there is a team behind that. And they take this YouTube person as their personal friend. So they actually sort of trust this person more than they trust their own people. And that creates problems on another level. And if that person then does something they do not like, then the attack is very vicious. And that way, the cancel culture really has sort of virtually killed many individuals and performers online. So this is something that's not really, it's never happened in Estonian culture as far as I know.